On our last full day in Tokyo, we last minute decided to take a quick day trip up to Mount Fuji. We found out there's actually three ways, actually four ways to get there. One, you can rent a car. Two, you can take a bus, which was really not an option because I tend to get car sick as well as my daughter-in-law. The third way is a ticket on the Fuji Excursion Limited Express train, which is probably the most comfortable route, but unfortunately they were already sold out. So if you're looking at that route, you probably need to get your tickets a day or two ahead of time, maybe even earlier. So what we wound up doing was going to the train station that morning, and we wound up taking a ticket to on the JR Chuo line, which is from the Shinjuku station in Tokyo to the Otsuki station. And then at Otsuki, we took another train over to Kawajuko or Kawajikyo. I'm not sure. I'm sure I'm butchering those names of those towns, but it took us about 2.5 hours, and for all four of us, it was a round trip was $192, so around $50, $46 per person round trip. We loved riding on trains, and it was really neat. The first train was very comfortable. You had your individual seats, and they reclined. It was very nice. We also picked up some snacks at the train station. I wound up getting this little lemon bar here that was fantastic. It was very fresh. And then Russell picked up a bento box, which we'll show you open that a little bit later. It was interesting going through Tokyo. Obviously, you see the big city, but as you're leaving Tokyo and getting on out into the more rural areas, you'll see that the terrain becomes more mountainous, and you pass through several small, I don't know if I would call them villages or towns, but you certainly get a very different scenery on the train ride than what you do in the city of Tokyo itself. It was nice to see just this different area of Japan. Otherwise, we would not have seen this at all. A lot of people were getting their gardens started and, just living life like we all do. The Japanese people are really not that different than we are, although, they have different customs and different ways of doing things. But I will say on the train, it's very quiet, not a lot of talking going on. So it's very peaceful ride. Here's Russell opening his bento box that he purchased. These are pretty neat. You can get some that are very elaborate, and the one Russell picked up was pretty simple. It basically had the little fork there on the top of the lid, and it had what was like some large chicken nuggets, and they were fantastic. It was really good. He shared them with me. Thanks. You can see this is the second train that we got on. This was the one that we picked up in Otsuki, and it's more of like a daily commuter type train, not the individual seats. But still, it was nice. It was not crowded. As the train went on halfway through the journey up to Mount Fuji, there were a lot of stops. I think we made a total of 18 stops in the little villages getting up to the mountain. So it was definitely, we picked up people as we went along. And here's some more of the people getting their gardens ready for spring, and definitely the season is turning in Japan. So even though this route that we took was not a direct route to Mount Fuji like you would have gotten on the express train, it was not difficult to change over at Atsuki at all. Very simple. They made it very clear where you needed to go, so it was no big deal. Uh, Again, the Fuji Excursion Limited Express, I would say, would probably be my number one pick. But again, you would need to get those tickets probably in advance. And they only run, I think, just once or twice a day, where this excursion or this train line that we took, from what we understand, runs several times a day. Like I said, this was just kind of a last minute planned trip, so we did not have any excursions booked or anything like that. So we really weren't certain on what we were going to be doing once we got to Mount Fuji. I did do some research on Google on the way up there that said basically, some pristine viewing areas once you got into the small town. Now, you actually go to a stop titled or a location called Mount Fuji, but you don't get off the train there. We actually got off at Kawajukio, which is two stops after that. They're all right there within the same little area, but the train goes and then backs up to this actual stop that we got off. So once you get off the train, obviously the mountain is right there. You can see it from various viewpoints. There are charter buses that does tours or that do tours that you can obviously pay for. We did not do that. We walked to a nearby park that we were able to see the mountain and walk through the community a little bit. We actually had lunch at a ramen shop there, which was very nice. But if you're doing one of the bus tours, prepare yourself because it's crazy busy there at the train station trying to get all of the tourists onto the various buses and that kind of thing. Some quick facts about Mount Fuji. It is the tallest mountain in Japan at 12,389 feet. It is an active volcano, or considered active. It last erupted luckily back in 1707, but it is considered a sacred location in Japan, and it was named a UNESCO World Heritage Site back in 2013 for its cultural significance to the people of Japan. Um, there are people that actually climb Mount Fuji, not me, but they usually start in early July and end in September. I did look, and there are people, unfortunately, that do die each year trying to climb Mount Fuji. And I wanted to speed up this video here. You can see how quickly these clouds were moving at the top. So from down just slow, regular motion, it doesn't look that aggressive, but I'm sure up on top it is. This is the train station. You can see out the window there, those were the people lining up for those buses and trying to get on to their specific, I guess, tour groups. And wanted to slow this video down here. This young man that's sitting next to my son here in the green jacket, he is a young man from Australia, Queensland, and he told us that he had actually quit high school, and this was like his third or fourth country that he has visited. He said that he's just trying to figure things out, and I thought that was interesting that he had the courage to do that. Here I am, 53 years old, and still afraid to go to different places many times. So, courage, kudos to him, I guess, for having the courage to do that. And as we're leaving, here's a still shot of some of the pictures of just the beauty of the sun setting on Mount Fuji. It is a great place to visit if you're in the area, and make sure that you do that.